Her back was pressed against the cool wall, her breath shallow, her pulse racing like she had just been caught stealing something dangerous. The night was heavy, the silence broken only by the sound of her heartbeat echoing in her ears. She thought she was alone. She thought no one would ever know. But then the door creaked, just enough to let in a sliver of light, and with it, his eyes, hungry, dark, unblinking. He saw her, not the woman everyone else knew, not the polite, respectable mask she wore for the world. No, he saw her, the side of her she kept buried, the side that whispered in the dark, that craved what it could never have. And the way his gaze lingered, traveling slowly over her trembling body, told her he wasn't going to look away. A shiver ran through her, part fear, part desire. She wanted to push him out, slam the door, pretend nothing had happened. But her body betrayed her. Her lips parted. Her breath caught. And deep down, she knew something had already shifted between them. Something forbidden. Something dangerous. Something that once awakened could never go back to sleep. She froze, her body trembling as heat and shame collided in her veins. It wasn't supposed to happen this way. It wasn't supposed to be seen. And yet, he had seen her. That single gaze held questions. Desire, fear, and something neither of them could name. And from that point on, nothing could ever be the same. She was older. He was younger. The world would never understand what passed between them in stolen glances and breathless silences. But sometimes, life doesn't care about rules or what is right or wrong. Sometimes desire breaks through everything. She remembered the first time he had stepped into her home, his presence filling the quiet space with a kind of restless energy. He had only come for a short visit, just family, just a boy she had watched grow. But there was something different in him now, something sharper in his eyes, something almost dangerous in the way he carried himself. At first, she ignored it. She laughed at his jokes, served him food, and pretended the electricity she felt was only in her imagination. But late at night, when the house fell silent, she caught herself thinking of him in ways she shouldn't. The guilt made her heart ache, but the temptation made her body burn. And then came the night when the boundary between them dissolved. She was in her room, the door not fully closed, her mind restless. She thought she was alone, but when she looked up, he was there, standing in the doorway. His eyes didn't look away. They lingered, drinking her in with a hunger she couldn't deny. For a heartbeat, neither of them spoke. The silence was thick, heavy with tension. Then she whispered his name, soft, almost pleading. And he stepped inside. Her heart pounded like it would tear through her chest. She knew this was dangerous. She knew this was wrong. But the air between them was magnetic, pulling them closer. He didn't touch her, not yet, but the way his gaze roamed over her body made her shiver. "Do you know what you're doing?" she finally asked, her voice trembling. His reply was simple. "Do you?" It was a challenge, a dare, and she couldn't answer, because deep down, she did know. She knew exactly what she wanted, even if she couldn't admit it out loud. The first touch was accidental, a brush of his hand against hers. But that was enough to set everything ablaze. Her skin tingled where he touched her. And when she looked into his eyes, she saw the same fire burning there. That night, they crossed a line that could never be uncrossed. Every stolen glance, every secret meeting after that carried the same mixture of fear and longing. They told themselves it was just curiosity, just a mistake that wouldn't happen again. But mistakes don't burn like that. Mistakes don't keep you awake at night. Imagining, remembering. Put yourself in her shoes for a second. Imagine knowing it's wrong, but feeling your body betray you every time he came near. Imagine fighting yourself, telling your mind to stop while your heart and your skin screamed for more. That was her life, every single day after that night. The days were torture. She played her role, smiled at family gatherings, acted as if nothing was happening. But under the surface, every look he gave her, every accidental touch sent waves of heat through her body. She hated herself for it. She craved him for it. The duality tore her apart. And then, one afternoon, it all went too far. He came into the kitchen when no one else was home. She was washing dishes, trying to keep busy, trying not to think about him, but the second he entered, she felt the air shift. He didn't speak at first. He just stood behind her, close enough that she could feel his breath near her neck. Her hands shook. The water kept running, but she couldn't move. "You're afraid," he murmured. "I should be," she whispered back. And yet, she didn't step away. When he touched her waist, her body leaned back against him without hesitation. She knew she should stop, should scream, should run. But all she did was close her eyes and let herself melt into his warmth. From that day on, there was no going back. The secret between them grew deeper, darker, more intoxicating. They met when they could, hid their desires behind locked doors and whispered promises. But secrets like these never stay hidden forever. One evening, as the sun was setting, she found him waiting for her in the garden. His expression was different, serious, conflicted. She could feel the storm inside, him even before he spoke. "This is tearing me apart," he admitted, his voice low. "Every time I'm near you, I can't think of anything else. But it's wrong. If anyone finds out..." She placed a hand on his chest, feeling his heartbeat racing just like hers. "I know," she said, "but I can't stop either." He kissed her then, soft, desperate, like he was both claiming her and letting her go at the same time. And for the first time, she felt tears slide down her cheeks even as her lips pressed back against his. Because deep down, she knew the truth. Love. Born in shadows cannot survive in the light. And the light was coming. It happened suddenly, without warning. A door opened at the wrong time. A voice called out when they thought they were alone. In one terrible moment, their secret wasn't secret anymore. The betrayal in the eyes that saw them was worse than any punishment. Shame burned, hotter than desire ever had. She wanted to scream, to beg for forgiveness, but there were no words left, only silence, only the heavy truth hanging in the air. He looked at her one last time, his eyes filled with everything they had shared: love, lust, fear, and regret. Then he turned and walked away. And just like that, it was over. But was it really? Because even now, long after the doors have closed and the whispers have died down, she still feels him in her dreams, still hears his voice in the quiet hours of the night, still aches with the memory of what they had, forbidden and unforgettable. Sometimes, the most dangerous love isn't the one that destroys you in the moment, it's the one that haunts you forever. Even after everything, she could still feel him, the warmth of his hands on her skin, the fire of his breath against her neck, the way his eyes held her, like she was the only woman in the world. Every night, when she closed her eyes, the memories came rushing back. Slow touches, stolen kisses, whispers that tasted sweeter than sin. It didn't matter how wrong it was. It didn't matter how much guilt burned inside her chest, because in the quiet hours of the night, when no one else could hear her, she admitted the truth to herself. She wanted him still. The world could call it forbidden. The world could call it shameful, but the way her body ached for his, the way her lips still longed for his kiss, that was something no one could erase. And deep down, she knew one thing with aching certainty. If he walked through that door again, if those eyes found her in the dark one more time, she wouldn't resist. She couldn't, because once a fire like that is lit, it never truly dies.